Welcome to the Chronicles, told by the Oracle. Cases of the missing, murdered, and unsolved. I'd like to thank everyone for watching today, and don't forget to head over to thecertifiedoracle.com where you'll find source information for today's episode. And be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss a case. Let's get started with Chronicle number 14, the Katherine, Erin, Korzilius case. The year was 1996. In January, a blizzard hit the eastern U.S., killing 50 people. Britain was alarmed by an outbreak of mad cow disease. And in happier news, Rent opened off-Broadway, but would become a very successful Broadway play and eventually a movie. Bill Clinton was re-elected president, and kids everywhere were doing the Macarena. Lunchables were what you craved, and ER was what you were watching. Afterwards, heading out to a backyard baseball game, and then a super soaker war with your friends. The 90s were a great time to be alive, and a child. The endless fun until the streetlights came on, and then you headed home, tired, happy, and so excited to get up and do it all over again. For one family, tragedy would hit in their small neighborhood of Elder Circle, changing their lives forever. Katherine Erin Korzilius was born on October 5, 1989, to Paul and Nancy. She had one older brother, Christopher, who went by Chris. Katherine was a happy 6-year-old. Her father, Paul, was a manager for the rock star Jon Bon Jovi. The family lived in the Elder Circle neighborhood near Austin, Texas. There were only 40 homes in this very affluent neighborhood at the time. Katherine grew up in one of those, a $2 million home, and next to her home was a vacant lot. It should be noted that today there's a multi-million-dollar mansion built on this lot. On August 7, 1996, around 4 p.m., Nancy, Chris, and Katherine were returning from a day of shopping. Paul's birthday was coming up, and they were buying him new golf clubs. The trio made their daily stop at the mailbox, where little Katherine happily jumped out and retrieved the mail, as she had done so many times before. She handed the mail to her mom and asked if she could walk back home alone. Nancy said yes, as this was not the first time Katherine had walked back from the mailboxes. It was just a short distance away. Some articles state it was only 4 houses away from the mailboxes, and by all accounts, Katherine should beat her mom and brother home. She would usually be sitting on the porch waiting for them. This time, when Nancy pulled down the long drive, her daughter was nowhere to be seen. She didn't think much of it and went inside with her son. After some time had passed, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, Chris told his mom Katherine still wasn't back. The way Nancy took home from the mailboxes that day is considered the long way around to her home, located at 809 Elder Circle. Katherine would have taken the short way home when she left the mailboxes that day. In fact, her mother would later tell police as she drove off she saw her daughter walking in the direction of their home. What had happened in that short period of time? Nancy sent her son to look for his sister. He walked the route she should have taken home and saw no signs of her. He headed back home and told his mom that she wasn't down by the mailboxes. The pair would get in the family Suburban and head out to look for her. Maybe she had stopped to play or took the long way around. That is what Nancy was thinking at the time. She had no idea the horrors she was about to find. As Nancy and Chris pulled out of the driveway and started looking for young Katherine, they would find her quickly. She was on the long way home side. Did she turn around and decide to try and catch up to her mother because she no longer wanted to walk home? Her thumb was in a splint on her left hand. Was she possibly in pain from this and decided she didn't want to walk anymore? When Nancy came upon her child lying helpless in the street, partially breathing and very bloody, she picked her up and placed her in the car. The time was 4:15 p.m. It should be noted that Katherine was found in the 1100 block of Elder Circle. Nancy would drive for 25 minutes before reaching the hospital. 6-year-old Katherine would never recover. She passed away from a skull fracture. Police were investigating this as a hit-and-run case. However, when the medical examiner's report came back, he said her injuries were inconsistent with a hit-and-run, and more consistent with being thrown from or falling off of a moving vehicle. The question now, was it an accident? If so, why did no one call an ambulance for this precious little girl? 3 days later, police would bring in tracking dogs. They tracked Katherine's scent from the mailbox to the vacant lot, and then the scent was lost. Is it possible someone had hit Katherine, then placed her in their vehicle before placing her where she was found? It is possible, but why? When Nancy found her daughter, she said it looked like someone had placed her there and not thrown her out of a car. Her hair was smoothed down, her clothes did not have any wrinkles, and her shoes were still on. It does not state who the vacant lot belonged to at the time. Perhaps someone was backing out and hit her. Then, feeling bad, they took her and placed her where she was found, staging a scene. Nancy would believe this until she hired a private investigator. Then she believed that her daughter was abducted from the vacant lot. The police would question all the neighbors. No one heard or saw anything that day. It is unclear if the police checked every car in the neighborhood for evidence of a hit and run. This was something that did not happen in this area ever. The medical examiner would state Katherine had scrapes on her hands, elbows, knees, and back area. It should be noted that some reports say she had scrapes on her shoulders as well. There is one theory that is pretty much what many believe happened on that doomed day. People think once Katherine started to take the short way home, she turned around and climbed on the back of the Suburban, grabbing onto the back handle, and while trying to hold on with a splint, lost her grip as her mom rounded the corner and slung Katherine from the bumper to the location she was found. The private investigator said she could not have held on to the door handle, as if she pulled on it, it would have opened. However, if it was locked, it would not have. This could have happened. However, we do not know if this was something Katherine had done before, or if she was even the type of child who would have tried something this adventurous. We also do not know if the mom was driving the speed limit that day, or was she maybe going a tad faster to try and get home before her daughter did? These are questions there don't seem to be answers for, as there is not a lot of information on this case. Jon Bon Jovi did immortalize Katherine in a song titled August 7th, 4:15, the date and time of Katherine's death. Paul and Nancy would be hit once again with tragedy when their son Chris was killed on March 18th of 2020. His life was taken in a car crash. Nancy and Paul had now lost both of their children. After Katherine's death, the couple would divorce. Both are still alive and still grieving the loss of their children. If you have any information on Katherine's case, please call 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so I can continue helping families of the missing, murdered, and unsolved. As always, this is the Chronikle, signing off.